Hi there. Like I promised you, I'm going to show you how I make garlic toast. What I have in here is about maybe 3 tablespoons of butter, maybe not that much, at least a couple tablespoons full. I'm only making a few pieces of garlic toast, and I don't want this to linger around too long, although you can save it in the refrigerator for a while. Excuse me. But all I have in here is soft margarine, butter, and to that I'm going to add some minced garlic. Now what I'm going to do is just use my knife blade here. It's kind of ways down in there, and I'm going to pull out a small portion, perhaps maybe a little bit more. I would say roughly a teaspoonful, maybe a little bit more than a teaspoonful, probably not a whole tablespoonful. And I've also got some Parmesan cheese. Now, you can use grated or shredded Parmesan cheese, and I just open it up and I start to dump in a good amount. I don't measure, but I put it in to where I can see the cheese inside the cup, and I start to mix. Now I will probably go back and add some more cheese. And all you do is just mix all of this together. Now you can smell the garlic in there. Some people like a little onion powder in. You can put a little onion powder in if you like. It won't hurt anything. You can as you choose. But as long as you have your garlic mixed in well, the Parmesan cheese mixed in well, and we're not done with the Parmesan cheese yet, because once we get this spread on our bread, we're going to use it again. Okay, and then I like, for my own particular style of garlic toast, I prefer either French or Italian bread. Italian bread is my favorite, if I can get it, but you can't always find it. And then what I do is I slice it to my own preference. Now, I'm going to leave the heel in here to help keep the rest of the loaf fresh for a while longer. So I'm going to get it about the point where it becomes flat across the sides. Okay, and I'm going to cut that off and set it aside. And then I'm going to cut some pieces about an inch or so thick. And since I'm only doing a couple of pieces at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the bread back in, put the heel back in to help shield the uneaten part of the loaf, so that I can perhaps store it a little longer. And that will cover the bare end some, so that it doesn't allow the bread to dry out. And I'm going to take those 2 slices that I cut off, and I'm going to butter them with this mixture. It doesn't have to be real thick, but you do want it thicker than if you were making just plain toast. You notice I'm buttering it with a fork. That's so that I do leave some hooved up on top of the bread so that it is thicker. Now in the meantime, I have my oven heating up on broiler mode. And notice I took all of the spread all the way out to the edges. The edges are going to be the first part that you see turn brown. The better moisturized it is with the butter, the better off it's going to be, and the slower it's going to toast, and slower is better. And right now I have this turned to about 450 degrees on broil. And I'm going to place my bread buttered side up on a baking sheet. And since my oven has already preheated some, I'm going to put that into the oven about the middle shelf, and we're going to let it broil for just a couple moments. I'll be back whenever it's done. Okay, it's been about 7 minutes or so. I'm going to check on these. I'm not sure that it's ready to pull out just yet, but I see that it is turning brown around the edges. It's still pretty moist in the middle, so I'm going to leave it just a little bit longer. But you have to monitor it from this point. You can't give it much time to set by itself. You have to watch because it will burn along the edges. Okay, we let that go for another couple minutes, and now you can see that it's very nice and toasty brown around the edges and in the middles. I didn't go back and sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on it. I can do that now. It does help sometimes if you do that prior to baking it, but you can still put a little bit more on. And now that you're done baking it, take a little bit of oregano. You can also put this on before you bake it if you wish. Okay, grind it up in your hand and sprinkle it a little bit over the bread. And it not only looks delicious, it tastes delicious. There you go. That's my version of garlic toast. Enjoy. By the way, this goes exceptionally well with spaghetti. And if you have any left, and I did have quite a bit left, since I'm going to be having spaghetti and garlic toast for a while, I can just cover this up with a piece of aluminum foil, set this in the refrigerator, and use this again until it's all gone. If I have to make a little bit more, I do the same thing. Parmesan cheese, garlic, butter, a little oregano, a little more Parmesan cheese if you wish, grated or shredded is okay. And just spread it on the bread as if you were making toast, and when it comes out looking golden brown like this, it's crispy but yet tender. And you can see when I break into it, it's still tender in the center and very delicious. Enjoy. Thank you. Be sure to subscribe and like.